Here we go. We are
Woohoo.
live.
Live.
Season 2 finale of the Shift show. The shift is
Shift
happening.
happens. Love it.
Right?
Look at us.
Look at
All
us.
festive and stuff. I don't
Right?
remember. Is this a clean cut? I gotta
We
check what our
didn't even
graphic
put it
had.
on there. This
No,
is
next
huh.
show.
Wait, my birthday was not. So this would be la 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 la
La la la.
la 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 la
So
la.
tell me, do you love snow or not?
Oh my goodness. How about we just be like, welcome everyone to the Shift Show here on Wednesday, December 11th. Thank you for joining us, first of all, for Underground Radio C. We're live streaming on Just TV's Facebook page and my LinkedIn. Welcome to my LinkedIn
Welcome,
folks.
everybody.
Welcome, welcome. So,
Dee,
first of
dee,
all,
dee, 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 dee.
this is our season 2 finale. This week's been like the wrap up week in a way because I finished my 12 days of Christmas giveaways with Serena with Chiller. That went
Amazing.
pretty good. I don't think it
Oh,
went as good as last year, but I think we had some pretty cool prizes. So no complaints there. And the winners got the grand prize was 2 tickets to the Oilers game versus Kraken in January. So two lower seats, two lower bowl seats, so which is
wow.
pretty cool. And
Nice
then
ticket.
yeah. And then the other
Huh.
one was a 3,200 3,200 um towards no, it was like a gift package of business coaching gift package of 3,200. It's a lot to say at
Wow.
once. So yeah,
So I'm surprised. The Oilers, not the Flames. I'm an
right.
Oilers fan, but you're in Calgary.
Last year we did the Flames.
Okay,
We did
gotcha.
four four tickets. Or was it 2 tickets? Either 4 tickets or 2 tickets to the Flames. Then we had a signed, autographed, say autographed, same thing. Oh my god, it's gonna be one of these days. Autographed jersey and autographed puck, and a gift card to the Fanatic store. So big prize. It was really good. So this year we didn't have as much, but yeah, it's in Edmonton because Serena loves the Oilers, so I let her get away with it. And I said, well, I said next year it's going to have to be the Kings because I'm a Kings fan, so there's that.
Yep.
And I'll have to
Well,
escort the winners.
maybe.
That's all.
Okay, I was going to say maybe Santa will bring you some tickets.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You never know. Santa's amazing. Now, your
So the last time we
question,
talked, it was your birthday. So you had birthday. Now we're going to be talking about Christmas.
right? My birthday was pretty good. I had a good
Good.
day on that end. So thank you everyone for birthday wishes, and I got a few little gifties, which was really nice. So it was good. The best was I went out for dinner. So I mean, who doesn't like food? I love food.
But back to my original question, do you like
No.
snow?
Okay. This is one of those love-hate relationships that I have with snow. First of all, I love looking outside and seeing its beauty upon the mountains and the
Right.
trees and
Right.
like a fresh blanket everywhere is just it's kind of like magical in itself, right? And I just think like we could if we could just have snow without minus 40, that would be great. I don't like the
Agreed.
cold aspect of it, and I don't like the slippery roads with it. So right now there's barely any like well, I mean, side roads it's icy, right? But a lot of the main roads there's absolutely nothing on there. And I'm like, I could live with this. And it's beautiful outside. We've had amazing weather, so I can't really complain really. Like this winter, I mean, technically it's not even winter yet, not till the 21st. But, you know, so there's really no complaints. However, fall let us down because it hasn't been really fallish.
True.
But, you
Write a
know,
letter to Mother Nature. I don't know.
right?
Like,
Dear Mother
does she have a
Nature.
complaint department?
Can we make a petition for warmer winter?
We can. Just nothing will change, but you know.
Right? Who's on board?
Do you have the same kind of relationship with Christmas? Is it love
Oh,
hate?
no, I don't. I think Christmas is so beautiful and so magical. However, whichever way people celebrate it, that's how they celebrate it. But I get like so excited when, the Christmas lights start going up in like stores, and you could just drive anywhere and people have like little lights here and there, because I find like it's the unity. It's like the whole it's magical, right, in itself. And then I like how everyone just takes that time to do something special for someone else, whether it's baking or whether it's making something or whether they just do a little extra. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. So, I do, I the one thing I don't like about Christmas, which isn't really a negative thing, honestly, but you know how we have like the charity fundraisers and we have the food banks. We have all these great things like that. Why can't we be doing that all year round instead of just at Christmas? Because people are still needing food all year
My
round,
Christmas
right? Am
tree's
I, you
is that your
know,
mama?
that's my mommy. I'll be spending Christmas with my mommy, but we're doing an early Christmas. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And
What's
that's
your what's your favorite part? Now we know you love the food, so first I want to know what's your favorite food,
that's it.
and if your favorite part of Christmas is something different, then what is that?
Okay, well, you have to answer these questions too.
Okay,
This is
we have an
twofold.
hour.
So we have to go back to the snow, and then we'll answer that question.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Tell me your
Um,
tell me your take on the white fluffies.
well, if it could stay off the roads and the sidewalks and all that, I would like it more. If it could be warmer out through winter itself, I would like it more. I agree it does have its beauty, but I really it makes me cry to think of having to shovel. Like
Oh,
I treated myself to a massage last week and it's just about done and I'm thinking, "Oh, but you know what? I got to shovel snow when I get home." And I didn't have to. Kyle was going to be back from work and he could do it, but I wanted to do it before he'd put in a whole day of work and then he comes home and has to shovel. I thought, well, it's not a massive, massive driveway, but it almost made me want to cry that I
yeah.
was that there was snow to shovel. And I would far
Oh,
rather spend my winters in a warm climate. So that's my thinking about snow. Christmas itself, I think the same. There's that we have, I'm assuming everybody has like me, these snapshot memories in our mind of certain magical moments that we remember more from when you were a child or when you had young children. And there'd be these moments that were just beautiful. Everything was just beautiful. And, I think in a lot of ways, people end up in a tailspin. It's partly choice, but you feel that pressure to be and do and all that.
mm,
And so we end up in a tailspin and we think we need to do all the things. And then pretty soon we're flat out by Boxing Day, exhausted, disappointed, still in our turkey pants, and
turkey
just
pants.
thinking, like,
I've been in my
uh,
turkey pants since Thanksgiving. What are you talking about?
but I don't know. I enjoy the shopping. I used to start it in late summer,
Hmm.
and you start gathering things for people, and the wrapping, the baking, the hosting. I'm not a partier really. I enjoy just when you can get together and see people, whether it's family or friends, and that whole general spirit of generosity, like you were talking about. Like, why can't that be year round?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that needs a petition more than the
Yeah,
snow. You
more than
know?
the snow. Just giving people grace, or going, oh, they're probably, like they're stressed or they're worried about whatever. Yeah, people are just more in a Christmas spirit. And I know,
Yeah.
like, there's random acts of kindness happen more often, I've found, around this time of year too. So I love it.
Hmm. Well, and that's the thing. I love to, promote everything that's going on with all the charities, just like we did
Hmm.
with Tooth Express and Mamas for Mamas and filling the bus, which it's great. However, again, it's like why just the one time? And then that's it, because it gets to be like, well, I can't be promoting three events on one day or things like that, right? And I find like there's just event after event after event. And I feel like if this is more spread out, then I think as a whole, we can all be sort of spread out a bit better and being able to give, because I know a lot of people are tight for Christmas and they would love to give. But
Hmm.
it's like, well, what do we do when we can only provide just for our families for Christmas, but we want to give? So, I mean, sometimes people can say you can come and volunteer and help in that case with the charities, which is great. But at the same time, some of us do want to give money or whatever too, right? Like, I don't know. It's just a tough situation. So, because I feel like I just want to help and give and do all the things, but I guess, you just have to kind of pick and choose what you can do. But again, why can't we just kind of spread things out, right?
Yeah.
That's my take on that. So if you guys are doing charities out there, we love it. But, you know, maybe do it before December.
Hmm. Do it all the time,
Yeah. Summer.
because everybody's overwhelmed, like you say, around the Christmas time. And now we've got the postal strike, so people are panicking about things they've ordered or mail that they've sent. And uh, it's kind of tradition to have a postal strike this time of year, so we shouldn't be entirely surprised. But there's a
Tradition.
lot of stress, and I think, especially, I want to say the mums especially can probably relate to this, that there's you're making all this magical shit happen, and it's not happening by itself. We're
Running around with
every
our
time
heads chopped off
every time
like
I move my
turkeys.
head, I am jingling.
I don't have a jingle bell. That's okay.
That's
That's
okay.
the magic of your hat.
Yeah, we
I
can't all be
agree.
jingled.
Yeah. So I think as parents, um, I really have been noticing that if I start everything kind of earlier, it's a little less hectic on my plate. So I kind of find, okay, as I sort of plan things in my mind, how or what I want to get for people, and go, okay, I will look for sales. And that's what I did for part of gifts this year. Was I was like, okay, I know what I wanted to get people. And I'm like, when is the sale? When is the sale happening? And I was like very lucky that some things I were able to get were off Amazon.
Oh,
And they still deliver. So I'm like, yes. And luckily, the only I did like a coffee order
yeah.
online, so I'm still waiting for that. That was back a few weeks ago, so I'm still waiting on that one. And I made another order online, but that came, but it was through a different. They used wasn't I think it was UPS that they used. So you have to get creative, knowing that the postal strike is coming. So now I don't even mail things to anybody, because I'm just like, I don't want to get into that area of like, oh, postal strike is coming, this is coming. Or if we know what's going to happen, can we send a Christmas card in November? Is that weird?
Or January
Or January?
or February or whenever they sort their stuff out. But I agree,
June.
there's other
Christmas
ways,
is
like
what?
you can direct shift. You can direct
Correct.
shift to people. Direct shift
I
from
love direct
Amazon or
shipping.
from a lot of these order places. You can just have it
Oh,
shipped directly to your recipient, and they'll even gift wrap it in a lot of cases.
right. There we go. Yeah. So there's options out there instead of dealing with the stress, right? We need to
Another,
spread out the stress
yeah,
and make it
share.
less.
Like, there's nothing wrong with potlucks, or everybody knows that you are capable of this, that, and everything else under the sun, but sometimes it's more fun to do together, or you can ask for help. It actually is quite allowed and encouraged to reach out and to say, hey, you make the most amazing pumpkin pie. Could you please bring the desserts,
Yeah.
or whatever it might be? As far as the shopping, something creative that we've done in past Christmases was, if there were even just two or three little ones, it would be just a kids' Christmas. And the
Ooh,
adults would just show up. We would enjoy each other's company, and the meals and the food and the drinks and the games. Always maybe have a puzzle started or set up or something like that. And then it was all about the little ones.
yeah.
So it was just fun. And we would get down and help them with their toys or assemble something and have fun. Another one we did was a charity Christmas. And on the charity Christmas, we actually we drew names, and then we
Hmm.
would buy a gift we thought would matter to that person. So I remember one year I drew my dad's name,
Hmm.
and like I know he loves dogs, and also one of my great grandma had been losing her sight a lot, and so I donated to the charity this Seeing Eye Dogs, and that so that kind of was, a really meaningful thing. Or another one was, he loved to ride his bicycle. He also loves giving to charities, and it happened to be my dad again another year. I remember, because I was thought this was amazing. But you
Yeah.
could pay for a bicycle for somebody in South Africa, and this charity, it was very reputable. This charity
Wow.
would help provide a bicycle, because for them that meant they could have a job, they could feed their family, and it was like buying a car for somebody in Canada.
Wow.
So, like,
That's
it didn't
amazing.
cost that amount, but that's
Yeah.
the difference it could make to a family. So everybody got a gift that was given in their honor to something that your gifter felt was important to you. So I thought that was really, I didn't dream up the idea myself. It was a year I was hosting, but when I came across it, I thought that's great. Because a lot of times you think, what am I going to get somebody? What do they really
Hmm.
need? Or you get
Yeah.
it and you're like, oh, thanks. This is really great. But honestly, it feels good to know that that person thought of you, tried to figure out what would be meaningful to you, and then
Yeah.
gifted a charity, or some organization that is important. And
Yeah. I find like it's really difficult to buy for people that have everything, which is like pretty much everybody in my family. And I'm like, why do you give people in years past? For example, last year I gave my family gift cards to do activities so that they could make memories together and go out and do the things instead of just like, oh, I, got a gift and then it just goes somewhere and then that's it. Right. This way, it's a piece of paper. They go and they can scan it at the place and then they go enjoy the activity for, that day, whatever. And then they and make new memories. And so I really enjoy that. That's, excuse me, one of my favorite gift givings to do is to do like an activity. So then that
amazing.
way, yeah, then that way their house doesn't get all scattered with fun things and unless they really, really, really need something. If they really, really want that fuzzy blanket, or they really, really
Mhm.
want that mug, or they want whatever, or if it really just, I looked at and I went, oh yeah, they would just love that, or it's something that would bring them joy, then,
Yeah,
I would look at it that way. But I really do take into consideration of who that person is and what they like and go, okay, would they enjoy this? Would I enjoy it? You know, so that it would be like, okay, yeah, this would be a cool gift to do that. Um, What's the most unique thing you've ever given away?
Unique. Oh my goodness. There's um hmm, that's a really good question, Carrie.
Other
Do you
than
have an idea?
the charity bicycle thing, other than that, because that's
Yeah,
pretty
the
unique
bicycle
in
one, that
itself.
was really amazing. I think it's the experiences because
Yeah.
I as well have surprised people with tickets to something or uh, a pass to go, whatever it might be, like something that maybe
Yeah.
they even forgot that they'd mentioned that they would love to do
Mm,
and just made that happen, right? So I think it would have to fit into one of those. And maybe as we talk, I'll think of more gifts, but I love giving gifts. Oh, I know one thing. Oh, it was so funny. It's kind of a gift, but it was a Christmas thing.
okay.
And it was hilarious. So I was working at a farm inputs, like a crop inputs place for a lot of farmers coming and going, seed cleaning plant and that kind of thing. And the guys that worked there as well. So two of us ladies were in the office, the agronomist and myself. And uh, the one guy just loved to pull pranks. And so he had this massive tractor moving snow in the yard. And he comes running in and he says to the lady that I was working with, the agronomist, he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I just clipped your car with the tractor and with the snow blade, right?" She goes
Mm,
running out and it was all a spoof. He hadn't.
yeah.
And he was always pulling stuff like this, right? So we were trying to cook up something that we could spoof him. So this so I happened to notice in the local small towns had a newsletter that went out, and there was a guy hiring himself out as a Santa.
Mm,
And I said to, so we cooked up this plan.
yeah.
And so this guy was, he had grown kids and did he have, I don't think they had grandkids yet, but they had adult kids. And him and his wife, just amazing people. And can take a joke as well as he can dish it out.
Yeah.
We got very creative. We bought a whole bunch of random gifts from a tens, which like adult diapers to called. And we wrapped all these gifts, goofy gifts, crazy gifts, and just put funny sayings on them, like "Here's your big boy pants," and it
Oh,
was a
yeah, yeah.
10, or here's stuff like this, and it was all from Santa. It's
Yeah.
all from Santa, right? So we give these gifts to this Santa. We knew when they were having their family get together with his adult kids and him, and they lived in a different little town. And they're having their Christmas dinner. Knock, knock, knock. Santa shows up. Ho, ho, ho. Where's what's his name? Let's call
Where's
him.
Bob?
Where's Bob? It wasn't Bob, but yeah, where's Bob? I'm here to see. I got gifts for Bob, and we had a couple things for the other, like his two sons and his wife too.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they're all adults. And he's just like, he is baffled. He doesn't recognize the vehicle. He doesn't recognize the person or the voice. He's trying to figure all of this out, and his family is busting a gut. And Santa's like, "You got to open your gifts, and you've been a very naughty boy. You're just lucky to get gifts at all." And he knew stuff. And like, we told him things that
Yeah.
didn't just come from us, things that had happened where he'd goofed up doing this, or maybe he'd pulled a prank doing this somewhere else. So Santa knew a lot about
Yeah.
Bob. And Bob is just like, "What is happening?" And it was so hilarious. And he he didn't know. And for months and months and months, he'd come in, he goes, "I don't know who did that." And it was just bugging him about who'd set this all up, right? And he goes, "Was it you guys?" And we totally poker faced it. Like,
Yeah.
we're like, "Man, do you think, wouldn't we want to take credit for something like that?" And oh, it was just, like, I wish we'd have thought about that. And, just like totally playing it off. And eventually, I think it was a year later, just over a year later, that I was moving and to Alberta from Saskatchewan, changing
Mhm.
job, and I was leaving, and we had a big dinner in the field and everybody's together. And I finally said to the agronomist, the other lady that was in on it, I says, how about we put him out of his misery? Let's tell him who did it. It's
Oh.
been a year and a half, like, let's
Oh,
tell him,
okay.
right? So we told him, and he's like, "Oh my God, it was you guys." So I think that's probably the most unique gift because there
That's
were gifts
cool.
involved. It was a total prank, pulled it off, kept it going, and it really totally made their day. I think Santa made him sing a Christmas song. Like it was just, that would
That's
have to be the
fun.
most unique that I've ever given. How about you, Carrie?
Oh my goodness. No, I have never done anything that massive before.
Doesn't have to be massive. It's something unique.
No. Oh my goodness.
Or how about
I think just the experiences really has been probably all that I've given is the experiences. So because for many years, yeah, I was just giving gifts like physical gifts. And then over time, as as making a little bit more income, then I was like, okay, I can actually get something really cool and do the experience. And then that just made me so joyous in itself. So it wasn't just a gift for them, it was like this big gift for myself going, hey, it was kind of like one of those proud moments of like I can actually do this. So that was a good gift. Not like aside from a Christmas gift, though, was showing up for one of my kids' graduations last summer. That was another kind of gifty thing. So, but you know, I don't think anything can really outbeat that one. That was an early Christmas gift to myself,
oh,
really, which was
yeah,
cool.
that's
So,
good.
but
That's
yeah, I
amazing.
think yeah, if you guys know of any gifts you've given away out there in the audience that was a cool
Share,
gift, share.
yeah, give us some ideas or even alternate ways of gifting
Yeah,
that is, those memories. I love creating photo books for people, a
yeah,
summary of the past year or a trip maybe that you took or whatever it might be. I think that's a
yeah.
really great way to celebrate. And what we're doing is we're actually going to go to Mexico for Christmas. We went last year, we're going to do it again this year, and
Fun.
that's the gift. Go on excursion and see some sights and that's really there's going to be some
I'd be
gifts, but
down.
that's the majority of yeah, that
I'm
it's
trying to do that. I've been kind
no
of
kidding.
hinting at it over years of like, hey, how about we all go somewhere? We all go,
Yeah, like rent a cabin or some
right?
people do a ski trip.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah,
lots
no,
of
not in the
lots of
cold
things.
snow. We went through this. I'll be in the
Yeah,
hot tub and watching the snow from the
same.
inside.
Yes, get me a hot toddy and a hot tub, and I'm happy.
Right? Exactly. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, this year I actually gave so the people that I dog sit for, and they already got their gift, so I can actually spill it on air. But I made them a calendar because I myself received one before a couple times and I really like it. So over the past, it took me like 2 weeks to sit down and you do it on the computer. You get a layout of like what calendar you kind of want, whether it's contemporary or whether it's traditional or whatever type of calendar you want. And then you go through and you can kind of change the pages a little bit. But anyway, so I went back and I remembered, okay, the mom's birthday and then the dad's birthday. They don't have children, they just have fur children. So then I was like, okay, when are their dogs' birthdays? They have three dogs. And these are the Boston Terriers that I watch. And then, so then I did all of like, so there's one dog named Milo. And so all of his birthday month was all of him. And whether it was like, because he's only two. So it would be like, when he was kind of newborn, when they brought him
Yeah.
home, and then his first birthday, little pictures, and his second birthday pictures. And then same with the other, Casey and then Kramer. So they each have their month and then they're all specific. And then we had, then the mom and dad. So, the dad we did like they went to Mexico and stuff. So I had pictures like the ladies sent me pictures of like their trip and whatever. So I had all of these and I was like, this is great because I could go back and use them
And
for
make
the
a
calendar.
calendar.
Right? It was perfect. So then the birthday months, I try to make it more of that person and then maybe one of like if I was in there with them or something, or if the couple were together, I would do that. And then One month was like, of course, Christmas. So I did like, oh, as best as I could, as many Christmas pictures of them by the tree or something that was like Christmassy. And then Halloween, they had little costumes for the dogs and stuff and whatever. It was really cute. So that was probably one of my more creative ones that I did. And they loved it. They absolutely loved
Oh,
it.
that's
So
really nice.
yeah, but it took a lot of
And
time.
they'll
Yeah,
think of you all year long. Like every
right?
month
Too
they
bad.
step it up and yeah.
Oh, and then there's, I think, a couple months where, well, one of the months, it wasn't necessarily dog per se. Actually, yeah, I made it like um more adventurous, one of the adventurous months. So, well, we've been like paddling and we've been like floating the bow and stuff like that. So I took some of those pictures and incorporated it into like more of adventures. And I was like, okay, what are the dogs doing that's adventurous? And then they'd be like in the car or they were outside or whatever it was, and tried to get all the adventure stuff kind of put together. So it was challenging, but it fun. And then once I got like ideas, I was like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then one month I did like all the dogs because they're black and white, but I made sure all of the pictures, like the backgrounds, everything was all black and white. So it was more like a very um like a traditional kind of, actually more contemporary type of style for that month. And I was like, oh, it came out really beautiful. So it was good. So if no one has a gift idea yet, I suggest doing that. If you have, even if you have kids or something, you could put together something for them, like older kids, and you could put something together even of like maybe when they were little or their friends or something, and make something. So because there's still time, there's definitely time to do that. And that was with Shutterfly, and then I did it
Oh yeah.
online, and then I think they were the UPS, so I was like, yes.
Yeah, they come pretty
Great.
quick. I know, say like London Drug, some of those places have really great
Yeah.
personalized gifts that you can
Oh yeah,
have made,
those
whether
too.
they're ornaments or whatever. Oh, decorating. Are you you can't move 6 inches without bumping into some Santa or some elf or some bells or no
No,
tinsels hanging off your
my nose.
bed? Those, yeah.
Oh man,
I
I'm
did
more
more
like
when my
very
kids were little.
tasteful decorating. Like I'm just like, okay, um, I would put up, and I don't have so much of this year, but in years past, I would put like the garland, but not like the fir, like the tree stuff, that garland, and I would stick it along like the bed rails and put little lights in that with maybe a couple little bows and do down handrails and stuff and make it really elegant and tasteful. I don't like the 70s looking type of decorations. Those just, I don't know why they're still in
Exactly.
stores.
Those plastic whatever.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like, I think it's even like the color, they're never like quite red. They're like an orangey red. And then
Mhm.
there's like never quite green. It's quite like and it's not like a nice
Olive.
lime green. Yeah. Like the old school avocado
Yeah.
oven color.
Mhm. I hear you.
So I'm like, no, no, no. I stay away from that.
I think
And
less is more. Like when my kids were
yes,
little, I did a lot more because there's little kids. Like it just makes it more
we'd be like,
magical
here's
and
some
fun.
lights. We'll put it up in your room, and
Yeah.
I'd let them do that. I'd be like, here, just take some stuff and just that's your space. Go for it. Do your thing. So they'd be like up their bunk beds and around like the dresser, and you know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was cute. And I'm like, okay,
Now I think I can pretty much do the decorating in just couple hours and up
right.
or down either way. And
Me, it's like one
it,
box. Here we go.
yeah, it's
Takes us
enough.
10 minutes.
It's enough. And Christmas cards, I used to send,
Oh,
oh, it was, I think there were 70 or so I sent or something like that. And there was probably 25 went overseas and
mm-hmm.
the picture and the whole big long letter. It was a real production.
Oh my goodness,
And
right?
I haven't done that now in probably 10 years. I'll have the odd one I'll send. And I was dabbling in trying to learn watercolor paint. So I actually painted the one year I painted little invitations because I was hosting Christmas, or we were hosting Christmas for the first
Wow,
time
look
in
at
a
you
long time.
then.
And yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that was
would.
a one-off. I haven't done it since.
Yeah.
This year, actually, what I did was I had some really nice photos I'd taken that were kind of winter scenes or whatever, and I just had those printed up at London Drug and then taped them on cardstock cards, and
Away you
they'll go
go.
in the mail. People will get them in wherever, January,
Yeah.
February.
March, whatever they go. I did that in years past. I would make Christmas cards, not for everyone, because I was more involved in the church stuff back then. So it would be like, oh my goodness, something like close to 200 Christmas cards for everybody, and same overseas, the whole 9 yards. I would literally like, I would be sitting there watching the Christmas shows and
And
card. Like,
stuffing
yeah,
the school
I would.
pictures in them.
Oh, not to everyone, just a
No.
few. Only the special people got those.
Yes,
But
special people.
that was like so time consuming, so time
Yeah.
consuming. I'd literally start like November because I was like, yeah, I was in competition with some ladies at the church. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
I need to be done by the first Sunday of Advent. Like that was the
Yep.
thing. If you got it done before December, you were good. You were gold. And I
Or
put in, go
there's
ahead.
always that one friend, like you say, the competition, who is her letter shows up 2 weeks before everybody else's, and if you can get yours out before hers shows up, Zinga.
You're like, yeah, score. Isn't that horrible? But it's true. You're like, oh, I gotta beat so and so this year. Like it's. So I think when you get to that point, that's a bit too much.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
It's like
Dial it
the
back, sister.
Christmas with the Cranks. Have you ever watched that movie? And
Yes.
it's like the whole neighborhood is in competition and got to get that blow up Santa out there before this date and whatever. However, on that end, I think it would be cool to have like the street contests, like that stuff. But we'll get into that for a second. But going back to the cards, I would make like I would buy the construction paper and I would make like either stickers or write it and do the Merry Christmas cards and do the fancy stuff. I would do that for my family. I did that a few times and it's a lot of work, but it was appreciative. I hope my mom, you're still watching. Do you have your cards?
Yeah.
She's like, I would rip it up and I throw it
People
out.
do.
Recycle bin.
I
So,
think
but
people appreciate it more than ever because we
yeah,
don't get snail mail as much that's personal. It's always tends to be bills. And I know I'm one to just send random cards to people. I'll just ship them out a card any time of year, not a obviously not a Christmas card, but a thinking of you or whatever.
we should
And
start
I
doing
sent,
that. Random Christmas cards.
yeah, I sent a bunch of Happy Galentine's cards. I actually painted some this past year, little ones. And then
Cute.
some of my friends are so used to not getting mail besides bills and flyers that it'll be months. I'll get a thank you for a Valentine's Galentine is what I sent,
Yeah.
but like 3 months later, and they'll go, "Oh, I just checked my mail. Thanks for the card for."
From 2 months ago.
They do eventually get it, but
Yeah,
yeah. How
that's
about
cute.
Christmas pageants? How about the school, the church, whatever it is? What do you remember as
Years
a child?
past.
Were you
Oh, as a
ever
child.
in pageants as a child? And
Mm.
as a parent, what are your memories and thoughts on that?
I don't know, Mom, because you're watching. Was I in school plays? Because I don't remember. I wasn't like the star that stood out on stage like a literal star. I don't remember
But you didn't flash
singing.
anybody or stand up there picking your nose or anything like that.
Um, um, I don't like. I do remember being in choir, and then singing at like concerts and doing like the nursing home thingy, that kind of stuff. But that was when I was a little older. I don't know when I was younger, probably school things. And yes, I've been to a couple pageants where my kids were like, okay, you know, oh, my mom says just at church. Okay, good stuff. So there's that.
Yeah,
Um,
we had the whole
yeah,
pageants at school and obviously at church, and then I remember my kids
yeah,
doing the same.
yeah. Even when the kids weren't in the one school, I would go. I've actually seen pageants where it's like my nieces or nephews were in there, and I would be like, "Oh yeah, this is great," because I just find like it's just more of that Christmas spirit that
It
comes out,
is.
and it's just like that
Yeah.
feeling, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." It just a little bit more excitement that builds up closer to
It's
Christmas.
true. It's like
Yeah,
it sets the tone and you hear the carols and ooh,
yeah,
the magic starts to tingle around you and
yeah.
yeah, I love it. It's carols. So did you ever go caroling?
No,
Oh, I have
just
several
with
times.
choir, but not like the door to door stuff. You've
Yeah, the
been
door to
door to
door.
door in your town.
Yeah, I've done the door to door. Did it
That's
with a
different.
choir, did it with the youth group. That was hilarious. It was so much fun. I was a youth group leader too, and taking all these teens out, and they loved it. And
That
then,
would be
like,
fun.
at first, they're kind of like, thinking
Mm,
maybe it's a little lame, but they showed up anyways because their friends
yeah.
were. And after the very first stop, they were hooked because they saw the joy on the people's faces.
Aw.
And somebody would bring out, they'd hand out candies or they'd oranges or they're like, if you guys are cold, come in and warm up or whatever it might be. And they
Yeah.
just saw what it meant to people and they really had a blast. They had
Yeah, I
so
think
much
that's a
fun.
tradition that's really going fast is the caroling, right?
Yeah.
And I find they may do it more at because I think there's like those Christmas markets, right? I have not personally been to a Christmas market. I would like to, but I would imagine that they would have some carolers probably walking around and doing that throughout the market. That's what I would assume. Um, but
I was
yeah, I
just,
think that would be awesome to
well, our
actually go into
Rotary,
that.
yeah, it's so
And again,
cool.
not just at Christmas. Why are we doing this all
Well,
year
that would
round?
be a little weird. I think that would be a little weird to show up
Valentine's Day,
walking around
going door to
Valentine's. There's no,
door, R&B songs, and
I was just going to say, do you know a Valentine's song? But our Rotary here in Red Deer put on, it was there were over 500 seniors came out to the auditorium at the college, and it was a free concert for the seniors. There were handbells, choirs, there was kids singing, there were violinists, there were full orchestras, and it was a whole evening. And there were donated buses and drivers that transported them if they needed transportation. And there were carolers in the lobby singing as they arrived,
okay,
and
cool.
snacks and all this. And that was all just gifted to the seniors from the Rotary Club. And so that really, I volunteered at the event, and it was quite interesting because many of these guests arrived with walkers and wheelchairs,
Yep.
and those all have to be set to the side, and then they help them, you help them to their seat. And then at the end, everybody wants out at the same time, but you got to figure out whose walker is whose. And mine has a reindeer nose on it, mine has a bell, mine has tinsel, mine has this, mine has like whatever. And it
Just
was
choose
it was
one,
pretty
take whatever.
yeah, it was pretty entertaining, but they loved it. And I think having heard that concert
Yeah,
started me feeling like Christmas is like you
it's
get that feeling
insane.
of Christmas season.
Yeah. Okay, Nutcracker, yay or nay, whether it's just watching it on TV or going to the actual play, have you seen it? And favorite Christmas movies?
Ooh, well,
Ooh, so Nutcracker first.
Nutcracker's easy. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the story is about. Never seen it, never read it, never gone to it live. That's something that is a tradition. I think it's the Nutcracker. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Kyle's daughters go to that. Uh, it's a tradition, and they do that every single year to the live production. I believe the live
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
I think
Beautiful.
get all dressed up and do that thing. So I don't have a clue what it's about. Never been.
Would you
So that's
go?
easy. But I should probably at least watch it on TV. I
I
agree.
should probably Google it and see what it's
I'm
about.
just
No, I'm
not,
just kidding.
yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies and TV, but when I do, it's good. The movie, so my daughter's favorite movie is Elf, and I enjoy Elf as well. I'm Bad Moms Christmas is probably would have to be right up there. I like Bad Moms and I like Bad Moms Christmas. And something you could watch with the family though. I There's some really good ones. There's one that's just out, The Red. I haven't seen it,
I
but
know I want to
apparently
see it too.
I
I,
haven't even seen the trailer. I just heard about it yesterday. So,
oh my goodness,
but
it's
I don't
been
know.
out for a
There's
couple weeks.
I like the Griswolds or
Christmas
those
Vacation.
kind of those funny ones. Oh, and how about, I don't know if it's a Christmas one. A Grumpy Old Man.
Oh
I know
yeah, that's
there's
so funny.
like some of
Yeah,
those.
it's Christmassy. Now, what I think Die Hard, it's supposed to be a Christmas movie, but do you really feel like it's a Christmas movie?
I don't know. I don't know which one. I don't even know if I've seen them all.
With Bruce Willis, Die Hard?
Yeah, I don't know about a Christmas one, so I'll take your word on it, Carrie.
No, it's not an actual, no, it's just the original Die Hard, not an actual like remake for Christmas. It's like
Ah,
the Die Hard movie, and they always play it at Christmas time. I don't know why, but I think there's like
I think,
one Christmas scene in it. I think that's it.
isn't there Star Wars that usually comes out around another like Star Wars episode
Mid-December.
297 or something? I don't know. I'm not a fan. But I think in December,
um,
it's usually on people's wish list that there's a new one. Isn't Home Alone a Christmas one-ish too?
oh yeah,
How about
yeah.
you? Do you have a favorite? Okay, Nutcracker, Carrie.
Nutcracker, I've been to it a couple times, actually a few times because of school. Just like they do the matinees, so been with the kids to see it for matinees. Been myself before, beautiful. Like the longer versions of it, really beautiful. I've seen various, just movies on TV, different things on it. So yeah, I think it's cute. Very traditional, of course. I'm not like a diehard fan of it. Like if I don't see it, okay, great, whatever. But again, it's just like, oh yeah, I'll watch at least one this year or whatever. And I've actually watched one this year so far. But yeah, the Elf and the Grizzled Christmas and Home Alone, all those are just like right at the top. There was one of the accounts that I follow on Instagram. They were having a Christmas countdown favorite movie. Like you could vote for your favorite Christmas movie, and Home Alone won for the best movie Christmas movie. So everyone voted for that one, which is
I
not
think Mr.
surprising.
Doesn't Mr. Bean have something?
Mr. Bean's Christmas?
I
Does
wonder if
he?
he, I think
I
I'm
don't
picturing
know.
something with a turkey and his hand gets stuck in it or his
Isn't
head or
that the
I don't know.
Thanksgiving one?
Oh, maybe. That's probably Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Mr. Bean. Mr. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. There is. It's on YouTube. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, full episode. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. Very
Fun.
interesting. That's cool. Let's see. Share. Look at that. So they have like a full episode right here. I never
Nice.
even knew that they did. Interesting. Um,
It's amazing. He just makes grunts and funny noises and rarely says a word, and
right,
yet he's like a superstar.
right.
There's
This is
Nutcracker.
it's the ballet, right?
Ah.
Yeah. But there's
So
various
what?
movies and various things and a few different types of stories that they usually have.
Oh, so it's
Oh
not
yeah, I
just
was in
one
the theater
story.
before. Yeah, 2018 there was in the theater. Disney made it. Of course I went and saw it because Disney me. I'm like, I can see everything Disney. I have not seen the new Star Wars yet. There is a new Star Wars out though. But it's on Disney Plus. It's not in the theater. So, yeah. There you go. There's your education.
Okay, so the other thing we were talking about, and you're kind of teasing people that they might hear some Christmas recipes. So are there
Oh yeah.
traditional, what are your favorite
Mm.
Christmas, is it treats, goodies, or is it food?
Well, we kind of do a little bit of okay, this is actually what we did last year for Christmas with our family. We did a homemade gift, whether it was treats or making a craft or something, a re-gift. So if you had like if you had something in your house, you want to re-gift it. And then it was $20 per family as well. So then I did the activity for the 20. So with my homemade gift, I made banana bread, and it wasn't the banana bread because I didn't have that recipe then, but maybe this year I'm not gonna, most likely I'll be making it, even though my mom's watching. It doesn't matter, but most likely I'll be making that. And I make this really amazing spaghetti sauce, homemade from scratch, that I always like. I've made not, I don't make it every year, but I've made it the past couple years, and it's like everyone loves it. But the only thing with making something or baking something is that you have to do it close to the time that you're going to get together. Otherwise, I don't want to freeze homemade spaghetti sauce and then it's like, like it's not fresh and yummy. So that's the time consuming, but you have to make it with love. So I'm like, okay, I have to mentally focus and go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This year I'm making a different treat. I'm making peanut butter marshmallow squares. So it's really simple to make, and it's like almost like Rice Krispies that you put it in a pot and you put in marshmallows and peanut butter and
Butterscotch
butterscotch,
chips.
chocolate chips and coconut, and you put it all together. And so my mom doesn't know that, but now she knows. That's what I'm making. Um, and then so this will be my first year making that. In years past, I'm just trying to think if we've actually had homemade goodies that have been kind of passed down. I don't really think so. Oh, one of my sister's favorites is the refrigerator cookies. And it's sort of the same. It's like the um, coconut and chocolate. I don't know the whole
Oh,
recipe.
the
I've never made
oatmeal.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all you do is just stick it on like wax paper and you put it in the
Yeah.
fridge and then you're good to go. Refrigerator cookies, right?
Haystacks or
Oh,
pork or hedgehogs. I've heard a bunch of different names for them.
yeah, yeah. And they're so good, right?
So good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I we have I love to bake. So there's certain things though that I have at Christmas especially. I'd make homemade caramels and different fudges like brown sugar fudge or like caramel fudge, a chocolate
Yeah.
fudge,
Mm.
um, shortbread cookies,
Oh, yeah,
the
shortbread.
sugar cook like cut out and iced sugar cookies and cinnamon. There's these neat like delicious little cinnamon things and some
Okay.
fruit bars and actually fruit loaf. There's a fruit
Oh,
loaf
yeah.
that I've made that is really good. It's like a light colored batter with like soft and moist, and I put almond extract in,
Yeah.
which you can
Yeah.
just smell it, and it's so
Mm.
moist. And then my aunt used to make one called Gift of the Magi cake, and it
Oh.
had actually unique. It had chocolate milk. It had chocolate chips,
Mm.
but it also had like mandarin
Oh,
in there,
interesting.
like
Oh,
mandarin pieces.
chocolate orange is so good.
It
Mm.
was really good.
Yeah.
And dates, I think. So it was very moist and chewy, but it was good.
Oh.
So I do like, I don't mind fruit bread. I know some people hate it, but I love it. And I haven't even made the kind, I think there's some where people have a recipe, they make that fruit loaf and then they soak it in brandy or some type of a liqueur, and that just soaks all into your fruit loaf too, right? So there's a
Oh,
variety of
okay.
ways
So it's just
that you
like
can make
um, fruit bread. What do you call those? Okay, hold
fruitcake.
on a second. Fruitcake. There we go. I love fruitcake. I actually do. Some people hate it.
Yeah. Oh, and
I
then there was the
myself
Christmas
enjoy it.
pudding that did your grandma or my grandma used to make it. It was made in a jar and they'd cook it. They'd steam it
Mm.
in a jar. and then you serve it, and it either had a hard soft or a soft sauce. So it would have like this really sugary, buttery, hard sauce. It was called. It was like very, very,
That's
very thick, buttery icing, and you could
dangerous.
put a little bit of that on your hot pudding, and it would just melt over. Or the soft sauce was like a cooked caramely, looked like gravy, but it would be a caramel gravy,
What's it
and you
called?
put that
Oh,
over this hot steamed Christmas pudding. And I remember
mm.
them steaming these jars of it, and you could actually preserve it and then bring it back out and heat it. And yeah, it was so delicious.
I heard you can put alcohol into those too.
Yeah, you can soak them, I guess.
And same with your fruit bread. You could do
Oh,
that.
okay.
You
Yeah,
can soak it beforehand. You can stick it all the nuts and the cherries and whatnot all into alcohol and just like
right. It just adds that flavor.
add, add Christmas magic.
Christmas magic. How about games? Were there any games that you like to do? Like some families traditionally would always have a puzzle on the go, or there were certain games that they'd play at
Okay.
Christmas.
Um, I've played like that elephant, was it white elephant one? Before there's a couple games I've played before. So you get a gift and you wrap it all up. And then you have to pass it around and then with music, the music's going. And then as soon as the music stops, you can unwrap until the music starts again. And then you gotta go around. And then when it stops, unwrap, go around again. And then hopefully you're the last person that actually gets the gift at the end. So there's that. And then you can like either hang on to it or so then they put another gift in, same thing goes around. And then if you can either trade it or you can get the unwrapped gift. You can do that one as well. There's like one with cards, like a card game involved with that, but I can't remember
I made
how
one up one year that was some ideas that I had, and so
and we
people
do
would roll a
prank.
dice, and whatever number they rolled,
Oh
then it would say what they did. They pass it to the left, or they pass it to the right, or they re-gift
yeah,
it, or they have to swap with somebody, or they go pick another gift, but then they go give it to somebody else,
yeah,
or whatever. There was it was hilarious. Or they just had to sing a Christmas song, or wear the Santa hat. Like there was
yeah,
goofy things. It wasn't all around gifts. And so it was really funny. It was
yeah.
really fun.
Those are fun. And then there's another game called Spoons where everyone minus one person. So let's say there's 10 people, you put 9 spoons into a pile. And then again, like you draw cards or something. And then if your card, I can't remember how it goes. Um, I'd have to totally look it up, but it's hilarious. And then if everyone has to, jump at the spoons, and if you don't get a spoon, then you're out, kind of a thing. But I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's like a card game as well that goes along with
Yeah.
it, and
Kind of
it's
like musical chairs, but
brutal.
musical spoons.
Yeah, totally. It's totally like that. But there's a card game that goes with it, but it's so brutal. Like you watch your skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Watch, don't get somebody's gonna lose an eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got like a minute left here.
Couple minutes. Yeah. What else to Christmas? Eggnog, yay or nay?
I love I love me some eggnog. And the
I love
best
me eggnog, long time.
I you hated it?
I love it.
I love it. And the very best I've ever found was I think it's Lucerne brand. It is like liquid butter. It is just phenomenal. And be very generous with the rum. Amaretto works in a pinch, as does whiskey and whatever else.
Top it up
I've
with some whipped cream, throw a
in a
little bit of
pinch.
cinnamon on there.
Cinnamon.
Mm.
Mm,
Ah. So, Mom, I know you're
marzipan.
watching, but make sure that we get eggnog. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Marzipan's another favorite too. That we used to get a box from, well, more than one box of assorted marzipan candy from relatives in Germany all the time, and that was a real big
We've had
deal.
that before too. So good. Like the little cookies
Yeah.
and yeah.
I had a 16-year-old cousin came from Germany and spent her summer with me a few years ago, and she said, "Is there anything special that you'd like us, like me to?" Her parents said that you'd like us to send over from Germany, and I was like, "Marzipan is the only thing I can think of."
Send it all. Just keep it coming.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, well, I hope
Yeah.
everybody has a fabulous and festive and fun holiday season and much overflow of abundance in the new year. We will be
Yeah.
back with the premiere of season 3 on January 8th, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Watch our socials and you'll know when to join us. Again, it'll
You'll
be
know when
4
we're
o'clock on a
popping
Wednesday.
in. Right. Oh my goodness. I can't believe season 2 is done. That went
Oh,
by
I
so
know,
fast. Oh my goodness. We should just do a
as did
surprise
24.
episode over the holidays. Let's do New Year's Eve shift and come in and
Oh, Christmas stolen. Yeah, New Year's Eve. And we're going to do a New Year's shift or New Year's shift,
we will.
something like that.
New
Yeah.
Year's shifting into the new year and getting rid of our mindsets on like, well, I don't know. Some people like to go in the new year. I'm going to eat good. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do all these things and blah, blah, blah. And when you set goals like that, they say 90% of the time, more than 90% of the time, people never keep them. So we'll talk about stuff like that, how to keep those goals in place and other shifty things for the new year. So with that, we wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and hopefully it's all good and it's all fun. Keep yourselves warm. Stay out of the snow if you want to, or if you make snow angels, go for it. It's up to you. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.